The night rain fell like broken glass, sharp and cold, when Arman heard the desperate knocks on his old shop's metal shutter. It was close to midnight. He almost ignored it, thinking it was just another drunk stumbling down the street. But then he heard a voice, weak, trembling, and full of pain. "Please, someone, help me." Arman rushed out. There, under the flickering streetlight, sat a young woman with a torn jacket, mud-covered shoes, and a leg twisted unnaturally. Her name, as he later learned, was Zara. Arman wasn't a doctor. He was a poor mechanic who barely earned enough to feed himself. But he knew pain when he saw it. And he knew he couldn't leave her like that. He carried her inside, carefully placing her on his worn-out couch. He noticed the fear in her eyes, not just from the injury but from life itself. "Don't worry," Arman said softly. "You're safe now." He cleaned her wound using the little first aid box he kept for workshop accidents. Her leg wasn't broken, but it was badly dislocated, swollen, and bleeding. He wrapped it, adjusted it gently, and gave her warm tea while she cried silently. "I don't have money." "I can't pay you," she whispered. Arman shook his head. "I'm not asking for anything. Just rest." That night, Zara slept for the first time in days. A month earlier, Zara had lost everything: her job, her apartment, and her family ties. She had been running from an abusive employer in another city. She had nobody. She walked for hours until her leg gave out, leaving her stranded on the cold street. When Arman found her, she was at the edge of giving up. The days that followed, Zara stayed in the spare room at the back of Arman's shop. She helped him clean, organized tools, and even prepared tea during breaks. Slowly, her laughter returned. Arman noticed it every time she tried to hide her smile behind her hair. He, too, found something he hadn't felt in years: company, warmth, and a reason to wake up every morning with a little more hope. But problems soon came. Challenge 1: Arman's mother fell ill. His elderly mother needed urgent medicine costing far more than he had. Arman had barely 900 rupees in his pocket. He still refused to ask Zara for anything. Zara watched him worry late into the night. Challenge 2: Zara's past returned. One afternoon, the men who had abused Zara tracked her down. He stood outside Arman's shop, threatening to drag her back. Arman stood in front of her like a shield. "She's not going anywhere," he said, voice trembling but strong. The men left after warning them, but the encounter left Zara shaken. The unexpected twist. One morning, while cleaning a drawer, Zara found a dusty box. Inside it were faded certificates, blueprints, and sketches, Arman's inventions. "You created these?" she asked, stunned. Arman shrugged shyly. "Ideas only. What's the use if I can't afford to build them?" But Zara saw something he didn't: his genius. She spent the next 2 weeks gathering information, writing emails, and contacting startup incubators and engineering organizations, without telling Arman. A month after their first meeting, Arman was repairing an old bike when a black SUV stopped outside his shop. 5 people stepped out, formal suits, polished shoes, and ID tags. They asked for him by name. "We reviewed your prototype designs. We want to fund your project," the woman said, shaking his hand. "Your invention can change the low-cost engine industry." Arman froze. "What prototype?" he stammered. Zara came forward, her eyes shining with tears. "Yours," she whispered. "I sent them." Arman stared at her, unable to speak. They offered him a partnership deal worth millions. His hands shook as he signed. His life changed in a moment. But then something even bigger happened. When the company asked to help prepare the documents, business plans, and proposals, Zara told them the truth. They were impressed, very impressed. Within hours, they offered her a corporate position, a relocation package, and a share in the project. Zara stood there, stunned. A month ago, she had been homeless. Now, she was being offered a chance at a new life. Tears streamed down her face. "Arman, you fixed my leg, but you also fixed my life." The ending that stole every heart. Arman used his first payment to buy his mother the medicine she needed, repair his shop, and move into a proper home. Zara visited every day. One evening, as they stood on the rooftop watching the sunset, Arman said softly, "You didn't just return my kindness. You changed my entire destiny." Zara smiled and looked at him with tears in her eyes. "You saved me first." They weren't just two broken people anymore. They were two healed hearts, joined by fate, kindness, and the courage to believe in each other. Message of the story: kindness is never wasted. Sometimes the smallest act, helping someone when you have nothing, becomes the miracle that changes your life. A gentle breeze drifted through the window of Arman's newly painted workshop, carrying with it the smell of fresh metal and warm tea. Life had changed dramatically in just a few weeks. His invention was now under development, his mother's health was improving, and for the first time in years, he didn't wake up with the weight of hopelessness on his chest. But the biggest change was Zara. Every morning, she walked into the shop with 2 cups of tea and a smile brighter than the sun that rose behind her. She was no longer the frightened, exhausted woman he had carried inside that rainy night. She was confident, standing tall, healing. Still, something lingered in her eyes, something she hid whenever she smiled. And Arman sensed it. A new problem appears. One afternoon, Zara received a call. The moment she saw the number, her face turned pale. She excused herself and stepped outside, but her trembling voice carried through the slightly open door. "I told you. I don't want to go back. I don't belong there anymore." Arman's heart tightened as he listened. He waited until she returned, her eyes red. "Zara," he said gently, "you can tell me anything." She hesitated, then shook her head. "Not yet, please." Arman didn't push. He simply nodded. But at night, he stayed awake worrying. Zara had finally begun to stand again, emotionally and physically. Whoever scared her was threatening her new life. A surprise visit. 3 days later, as Arman was organizing tools, a white luxury car stopped in front of the shop. Zara froze when she saw it. A tall, elegant woman stepped out. Diamond earrings. Designer clothes. Sharp eyes. "Zara," the woman called, her voice echoing with authority. Arman watched Zara shrink back, fear gripping her. The woman approached, not even acknowledging Arman. "Your father wants you home," she said sternly. "Enough wandering around with strangers." Zara shook her head, voice cracking. "I'm not going back there. You have no choice. We already planned your engagement. You're returning with me." Arman felt something hot flare inside him. He stepped forward. "She's not going anywhere she doesn't want to," he said calmly. The woman finally turned to him, eyes cold. "And who are you?" "The mechanic she's hiding behind." Arman clenched his jaw. But before he could speak, Zara stepped forward. "He's the man who saved my life when you left me on the street," she said, her voice trembling with anger. "He gave me a home when my own family threw me out." The woman's eyes widened in shock. "You left her?" Arman whispered, disbelief washing over him. The woman stiffened. "It's complicated." "No," Zara said softly. "It's simple. You cared about status, image, money. Not me." The woman stared, speechless for the first time. "Please leave," Zara said. "I choose my own life now." The elegant woman, cold, proud, powerful, turned around silently and disappeared into the car. Zara's legs nearly gave out. Arman rushed to her. "You did the bravest thing," he said, holding her shoulders gently. But she shook her head, tears falling. "No, now I have lost my family forever. A new beginning, a difficult road." 4 days, Zara struggled. She worked harder than ever at the tech company, but Arman saw the sadness behind her eyes. He wished he could take away her pain the way he fixed her wounded leg that first night. But some wounds, only time could repair. Every evening, he waited for her outside her office, walking her home, listening quietly as she talked about her fears. One day, she finally said what her heart had been hiding. "Arman, I feel like I'm caught between my past and my future. But the only place I feel safe is when I'm with you." Her voice trembled, but her eyes were steady. Arman felt something shift inside him, quiet, powerful, overwhelming. "Then stay," he whispered. "Stay as long as you need." No pressure, no expectations, just stay. Her tears fell, but this time, they were tears of relief. The return of the past. Just when life began to settle again, something unexpected happened. Arman received an urgent message from the company headquarters. There had been a breach, someone leaked the prototype plans to a rival company. A betrayal. A massive one. When Arman reached the office, security guards were escorting someone out. It was the same man who had once threatened Zara, the abusive boss she had run from. He smirked at Arman. "Tell your girl thanks," he said coldly. "If she had never escaped, I would never have known about your invention." Arman froze. Zara was his target again. The final decision. Arman raced to find her. She was at the old riverside bench where she often sat to think. He ran to her, breathless. "Zara, we need to talk. Now." She looked up, fear returning instantly when she saw his expression. What happened? He told her everything. Her hands shook. Her eyes filled with guilt. "I'm ruining your life," she whispered. "First my past, now this. Maybe I should leave." Arman grabbed her hand firmly. "No. Listen to me. Whatever happens, we face it together. I'm not losing you to your past." Zara stared at him, tears falling. "And I'm not running anymore," she whispered.